All right, let's see if we can get Avery in here on the line in Houston, Texas. Avery, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Sure, man. How can I help?
Oh, well, I'm 23, and I've been recommended to some of your podcasts and stuff by guys in my small group, and I'm really just trying to figure out some direction of what my long-term career path looks like, and so I have lots of questions, but that's the biggest one is getting that plan.
All right. So have they talked to you about what we do? We break it down with what you do best and what you love to do most. So we start looking at some natural talents, maybe some skills you developed from those talents. And we also look at passions, things that you love to think about, things that you love to do, things that you love to be engaged in. So that's the process. So when you come to me today, do you have any of that knowledge about yourself, or do we need to break it down?
So, like I said, I've been listening for a while, so
Good.
I've started trying to think of those.
All right. Let's go for it.
Like
let's talk about talent. Yeah.
I think I'm pretty creative. In my job right now, he says I'm a great problem solver. I've worked with my hands for quite a while in manual labor. Right now, I'm a project manager for a remodel company. So woodworking and all the different trades, I've tried them all. But creative, I love creating.
Now let me ask you real quick, because I think I know the answer, but I just want to verify. When you say creative, is that meaning woodworking? You're creative with your hands, or how else does that creativity show up?
So my favorite times I've created, I do love carpentry and woodworking. It's kind of my father's trade. He's who I'm working for right now, but I've also worked on AutoCAD and designed stuff on there, and that was really fun.
What is that? Tell me more about that.
AutoCAD is an electronic, I guess. It's a electronic profile. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's...
Well, my point is, what are you creating on AutoCAD?
I was creating for a playground company. I was creating panels, design panels and things for kids to play with on the playground.
I think that's very interesting. I want to come back to that, but since we're now talking about passion, let's stay there. What other things like that? Work that you've engaged. I know you're only 23, so subjects in school, problems that you get a lot of juice out of solving, meaning you love solving these types of problems. I want to know what else is on that list. This is just stuff that you love to do. If you got paid to do this, you'd feel a little guilty, like you might be stealing from somebody because you enjoy it so much. What are we talking about?
On that category of passions, I really love the outdoors and conservation. You say what you do when your time goes, when your time you lose your time, just being outdoors. Really, I love fishing, fly fishing.
Well, now that's a hobby. I'm not turning you into a professional fly fisher. I mean, talk about the work, because you really enjoyed creating those panels. That's that creative side in you, and you really enjoyed it, because it also had, in my mind, you're creating panels for a playground. I think it had two components that I was trying to get out of you. All right, you tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think what you loved about that particular playground design project was not just the creative look and feel, but you also got excited about the functionality of it as well. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. So that you see how that is combining your talents of creativity, but also the problem solving. And then I think it also brings in that carpentry woodworking, because the guy who can build something and fix something sees things that other people like me just don't see. You just see how it works and how it fits. Oh, yeah, I can build this, and I see how to do it. Whereas I would need a 700-page manual to put it together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that.
So the question becomes, in writing your purpose sentence, I'm going to use my top talents of creativity, problem solving, and working with my hands. Okay, that's, I think, your top three. I'm going to use those talents to do blank work that brings me great joy. What is that role? What is that work that if you're doing that all day long? I think you know it, Avery. I think you're on that verge of saying it. You get to do it today. What is it?
Well, I guess that's where my biggest conflict is I love conservation and the outdoors, but right now I'm a project manager and I'm working in the construction. I get to design, I get to problem solve, I get to do all that, but something still doesn't feel right. I still earn to be outside and I don't know, maybe
say it.
Problems as far as conservation or
there we go.
Maybe.
So how do you do that? How do you use those talents of creativity, problem solving, and the ability to work with your hands? How do you use those talents to do conservation work? You don't have to answer that. Hold on. Listen,
okay.
I know your brain is going crazy. Now listen, Avery, you don't have to answer that on this phone call, but that's what you have to answer. And my man, it's there. Just think about that. You take some of the things that you enjoy doing right now for your dad's construction company and you just transfer your location to a wildlife or conservation organization, whether it be working for the Parks and Rec Services in the hills somewhere. Just think about how valuable and how transferable those skills are. But don't do it so black and white. Don't try to take your current job and place it in conservation. Just say, all right, I love conservation. I love the environment that I'm in, but I love the result of the work. And so how can I take my talents of creativity, problem solving, and working with my hands and go be a part of an organization that's doing great conservation work? When you say it that way, you're going to find all kinds of opportunities. Avery, that's the work. That's what's missing, is the missional side of your work, the significance part of your work. It's what we all long for. So Avery, that can be done. Those skills are very transferable to a conservation organization or mission.